Guess who? You're hearing this voice, so you know what that means. That means some wrestling is about to be talked about. And not just any wrestling. We're talking 2 pay-per-views back to back. We're talking double duty, double dipping. We're talking 3 world championships on the line, 2 War Games matches, 2 15-person, not 10-person, 15-person elimination tag team matches, and we're talking possibly one of the most ridiculous match results of the year. We're talking one of the biggest, kind of, sort of, returns of the decade. Oh, we're about to talk about it. We're about to give you an hour and a half of content, of discussion, of analysis, predictions, picks, all that good stuff. It is Survivor Series weekend and NXT TakeOver War Games. So you just sit your pretty little head back, you turn on that YouTube video in the background, you get some popcorn and a soda, and you get ready. Because unlike those Cowboys, we're about to give it to you. Ladies and gentes, boys and girls, and I know you hear me talking first, so you must be confused. I only talk first when there's one thing going on, and that's wrestling. It's your boy Dallas Glenn for the Playmakers Blog Podcast Wrestling Edition. And to the left of me is Darnell, the Playmaker Silence. How are you doing, Darnell?
I'm happy you back in the lead role for once.
Oh, like I don't anyway on the other episodes, but that's okay. Little dig. Didn't hit nothing. That's okay, though. That's okay. We have a lot to talk about. So, you can keep trying to dig all you want because there's a lot to go through. So we're just going to address the biggest elephant in the room because we got 2 shows to talk about. Darnell, what you think? Surprise last week, full episode this week. CM Punk is back. Technically.
Oh, we lean off with that.
Oh, well, I mean, he's not going to be on the pay-per-view, so.
Yeah, good point. CM Punk, WWE Backstage. I watched it. Very good. CM Punk is still entertaining. And by the way, Tom Arnold, shut up on Twitter. He tweeted after the show went off.
What?
Tom Arnold tweeted, went back at CM Punk for the promo or the social media thing that they do on Backstage, and CM Punk gave it to him and Seth Rollins at the same time.
Well, I guess these things happen. But, I mean, here's the thing. I see a lot of people, when he first came back, I saw a lot of people not wanting to use common sense because, Darnell, the lie is almost more entertaining than the truth. That's what Charlamagne God always says in the Breakfast Club. People don't really want to believe the fact that he's not back with WWE. People want to use technicalities and this is a WWE show and whatever, but correct me if I'm wrong, but he basically blatantly.
This is Fox doing. That's why I hear him to say what he wants to say. That's the reason why you're going to get what you heard was some of the stuff is garbage. Like CM Punk said, it's garbage. He doesn't like the blue title of the Universal title. He doesn't like that Baron Corbin tried to go Roman Reigns the way he did. He think it was garbage. He does love the women. He does love NXT. Problem is, he feels like creative, as Dallas has said on many occasions, is holding those things back.
It's the formula. So, real quick, because, Backstage is like, what, an hour long? If that.
Hour long.
Because it's an hour long, it's a late night show. It's content, but it's talk content. So it's really not supposed to, give us a lot. CM Punk came back. CM Punk said some stuff. All that Seth Rollins Twitter stuff. Seth Rollins didn't like that. But, it's 4 people on the format.
Real quick here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might not end it, but I'm going to try. For everybody here that wants to look at ratings, stop it. That's WWE Backstage. This is the Wednesday night wars between AEW and NXT. Stop the ratings thing. First, the Wednesday night wars, you can always go back on the next day and catch up on both shows if you happen to miss it. Secondly, WWE Backstage comes on at 11 o'clock Tuesday night. There's not a lot of people that's going to be up at 11 o'clock Tuesday night on the East Coast on a Tuesday. stop talking about ratings when it comes to wrestling.
Darnell, is somebody who is a digital content creator and somebody who understands that, radio, traditional radio, is a long way away if it's ever coming. What do you feel about wrestling fans in this generation after wrestling has taken a humongous dive in pop culture, sports culture, et cetera, caring about TV ratings in the television industry and the cable industry when it's clear that streaming, YouTube, Hulu, etc., are what people are actually watching and paying for? When you go see a Lana and Rusev segment, for example, and even somebody in the company on the company-sponsored podcast is trashing the angle, but you see it has over 2 million views. What do you say to those people who are trying desperately to make this seem like the Attitude Era when in actuality it's apples to oranges?
This is like the reverse thing of what happened in the Monday Night Wars back in the 90s. People didn't care about the damn ratings. They love both products.
Mm-hmm.
The people behind the scenes, the big check people, those are the ones who care about ratings. And unfortunately made some decisions, and the reason why WCW ended up folding.
Oh, this is very true.
In 2019, all of a sudden the fans care about ratings.
Do you think that in the long term, CM Punk will be able to get WWE Backstage over? Do you think that CM Punk and Renee Young, because let's please not forget the awesome work of Renee Young as a host, do you think that those two will be able to make this a somewhat mainstream analysis show?
To be honest, Renee Young is in her rightful spot now.
Yeah, this is where she belongs. This is where she needs to be hosting and doing shoot style stuff.
This is where she is comfortable at. This is her element. Even to be honest, when I do call backstage, I love the show anyway. It's the fact that what they doing with Booker T added on there, with Paige added on there, and different superstars coming in on there.
Mm-hmm. We actually had some. Was it this week where we actually had like legitimate news that like we didn't actually know when Ember Moon?
Yes, Ember Moon got the same injury as Xavier Woods has.
It's Achilles is a wear and tear injury. Kobe didn't pop his Achilles till like his second to last year in the league. So I mean, Achilles is one of those injuries where it's like when it happens, it's kind of sort of inevitable. There's not really a way to prevent an Achilles except for just not competing anymore. So you got to think Woods has been going for a long time. I don't know if Ember Moon has been wrestling as long as Woods, because Woods' career goes back to like 2001. But I do know that the WWE schedule adds years onto your career. When you go from working weekends at small promotions, maybe a Friday night here and there, to working 4 to 5 nights a week, not even talk about the international tours. I'm surprised that, we've only gotten 2 Achilles over the past, actually, I want to say decade. You don't really hear Achilles as much as you think you would in WWE. But yeah, just like Woods, she's out indefinitely.
She's out. The week before you had NXT champion Adam Cole on there, and that's when they brought out CM Punk.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think they're doing it the best way possible. They're not trying to act like it's the 80s and try to treat it for what it is. It's actually real people talking about the WWE product and trying to break news and report news related to the WWE product. I hope they stay away, before we move on, I hope they stay away from things like when they announced the Ember Moon and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross thing, the quote unquote future draft considerations. I hope that, they lean away from stuff like that, because you're basically trying to put Vince in the pigeonhole. There was a draft to start the brand split, then there were like 4 superstar shakeups, quote unquote. Then there was a big draft when there had to be a huge reset. Don't put, because that's a creative thing. The WWE draft is not a quote unquote actual sporting event. I hope they stay away from that, because I think the only way that they're actually going to get that platform, the cable platform, to work is if they don't try to work the people that tune in. the new audience.
And I like it. It's an actual show of what happened and what to look forward to. And plus, I like the promo school thing. A celebrity comes on there, tries to do a promo, and you gotta go against somebody who knows how to do promos.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like it tries to reintroduce the sport and the world to the casual audience. But speaking of reintroducing the sport and the world to the casual audience, Darnell, this is going to be, truthfully, the most expansive Survivor Series in a long time. I can't remember. I'm sure it happened. I'm sure it happened. I'm not trying to use hyperbole, but we got to think. The last time that the third branded ECW was even around, we were in high school. So that means the last time there was a third brand involved in Survivor Series, a bit ago.
Might be middle.
That's why I mean it's been a while. It's been a while since we could say that Survivor Series has featured 3 different brands, 3 different rosters. There's always been OVW, there's always been FCW, but NXT has crossed over into the new plane. NXT did something that OVW and FCW, OVW is still going.
When did CM Punk debut with ECW?
No, we were in middle school when that happened. But, I don't think ECW got canceled until like 2010.
So about 2010, the last time, but the most notable Survivor Series that came to mind for me was 2006, I believe. And I think that was when D-Generation X Triple H Shawn Michaels back together. And they had the Hardy and CM Punk on their Survivor Series team. It
was either that one or 2007. Because I remember 2006, I think, is when nope, Cena came over in 2005. So yeah, it might be 2006. It's either 2006, 2007. Either way, Darnell, the point is, we're talking 12, 13 years ago. We're talking over a decade ago, and
ECW. Last time I seen a Survivor Series match that went on one side.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, sure. But the point I'm trying to make is like ECW came back because it felt like there was a demand. It felt like there was a clamor. But let's be honest, Darnell, like the second ECW, it started off great, but then it became a WWE show. It was already a WWE show, but it just became brutally obvious.
It wasn't ECW.
NXT is very interesting. And I'm doing this because, we're going to be talking about NXT a lot this episode, so might as well talk a little about how it got here.
We'll pose this question so that before you continue on that, they can marinate on this question while you talk.
Mm-hmm.
I got catch up on NXT right about now, people. Are you starting to realize what we've been talking about when we did our wrestling shows, when we talk about NXT? Good.
I mean, we tried to tell them. Hell, we decided to cover NXT and cover results and cover takeovers on this podcast way before a Wednesday Night War, way before a 3-brand. And that's not to say we were the only ones. There are other people who cared about NXT. There's a lot of people who prefer to watch NXT over the main roster, but I mean, I'm sure we're not the only ones that said it, Darnell. But I mean, now we're here. That being said, though, I mean, OVW is still kicking. OVW is still its own independent promotion. Don't really hear about it that much. Yes, it's a pure independent promotion, but come on. You used to be the developmental territory of TNA. You used to be the developmental territory of WWE. What is going on and what is going wrong? FCW blended into NXT. So you can't really use it as an excuse, but at the same time, it's like, come on, you're WWE's territory. You're in Florida. How are you not? How are Floridians not really hearing about you like that? NXT, while it is completely WWE backed, and while it is a brand now, this is really that organic bubbling that people wanted to recreate when they wanted ECW back, Darnell. This is what they wanted, their own superstars. They wanted to support people from the ground up. They wanted the characters that you didn't know what was going on. Then it caught steam, and then New York or Atlanta wanted to work with them. You get some guys that come in from Mexico. You get some guys that come in from Japan, tear the house down. NXT is really what we wanted in the mid-2000s. We have an NXT pay-per-view And then we really have an NXT invasion on Sunday. And if you want to really go to ECW had heart. ECW had that dog in them. And all the champions of NXT are pulling double duty this weekend, Darnell.
I say triple duty.
Yeah, it is triple. It's going to feel like triple duty.
Look here. So, leading up to all this, NXT struck the first blow with, surprisingly, you would thought it would be Adam Cole, but no, it was the women's champion, Shayna Baszler, who I call the queen of NXT, caught Bayley slipping. And the war begun. Adam Cole and Spirit Arrow, they come out to do go to Raw. Probably the most intense thing to ever happen for Survivor Series. A face-to-face meeting with NXT champion, women's champion Shayna Baszler, and the Raw women's champion, the man Becky Lynch. You can feel the attention is right there. It's like you can't wait to see them two go at it. You gotta add Bayley into the mix because it's a triple threat match. Then all of a sudden, Bayley said, all right, enough's enough. I'm going to show up on Raw, the following Raw, and I'm going to get some of his action. You know, Triple H talks to Seth Rollins one-on-one, tries to get him to come back. We all kind of figured Seth Rollins not coming back, but it's a nice twist to it, to be honest. Would you agree?
Yes.
Nice twist to it. He's not coming back. AJ's the funny. If AJ Styles wasn't already in the match, would you think AJ Styles would have been the one to lead Team Raw in the Men's Survivor Series match?
That's interesting.
Because he's been the one that's actually stepping up.
Well, yeah, let's be honest. Brock is, Brock. And that's the interesting thing with this new format because, dude, like he's in a match because he's the U.S. champion. But if he was not the U.S. champion and his brothers are not tag team champions, I would be interested in seeing them lead while Seth Rollins, kind of is there.
Matter of fact, the first time somebody invaded NXT, it was the OC.
And it's so surreal and so ironic because they went straight to the main roster. In which they had to, because if you remember where they were coming off of, I'm pretty sure they negotiated, I'm not working Orlando. But it was kind of weird to see the sight of them in NXT after all this time.
Yeah. We see NXT, they still got War Games Saturday. Trust me, we're not forgetting that because War Games is like, to me, is one of the best things I love about NXT is War Games. I actually look forward to War Games. It's like, you know what? They don't mind taking time away, so you know what? We'll deal with each other later on. But we need to go make a statement to these two main brands over here. And they do it every single week. Somehow, someway, they come up with the numbers advantage. I'm like, how do y'all keep doing that?
You know what really worries me the most? This whole angle, this whole build-up Survivor Series, the sad thing is this wasn't even a part of the plan. If it hadn't been for the travel issues, God knows what they would have tried to give us. God knows what they would have tried to stuff down our throats because they announced at the Saudi Arabia show that it was going to be NXT involved in the Survivor Series pay-per-view. But, that SmackDown episode where the first shots were fired, where everybody was rushed from Orlando to Buffalo, wouldn't have happened if everybody could have made it home. God forbid, they would have had a Crown Jewel recap show.
Well, so if we're going back to what we say Friday night, I don't even remember Friday night to be honest. Oh, the whole Baron Corbin tried to get Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode on the Survivor Series team over Shorty G and Mustafa Ali.
Good Lord.
While on Roman Reigns at the same time. Might be a good thing because the match, the whole segment thing, because now just like with the eyes, with everybody trying to see what's going to happen with these three brands because of the Survivor Series and the interest is bringing up. People got to see that's how good and talented Mustafa Ali is.
I'm tripping at the fact that we're gonna have two 15-person tag matches.
There's gonna be a lot of eliminations going on.
Like, how is that even gonna work? Do you?
Gonna be interesting. By the way, NXT, they have not given both the men's or the women's team yet.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the card, only 8 matches, and as of right now, the good old Wikipedia does not have the special symbol for something being a kickoff.
So, wait, I'm thinking they're taking precautionary risks because they want to see how War Games go.
Which is very smart, and it's going to be very interesting because they want to see how War Games goes, but at the same time, all of Undisputed Era is already booked, except for Cole.
No, all of Undisputed Era is booked.
Even Cole is Whoa, wow. Yeah. So Cole's gonna. That is crazy. So even the person that wins the number 1 contenders match at TakeOver is gonna have double duty. Well, that might open the show. See, do you really want to do that and put that on the kickoff show? If I had to guess, because there's gonna be a match on the kickoff show because they're gonna have like the hour-long build-up, maybe 2 hour because it's a big 4. It's probably gonna be the mid-card title triple threat because what have they really been doing with Shinsuke lately, or the NXT Championship?
I don't know, because are they really gonna put AJ Styles on the kickoff show?
I mean, I wanna believe that the easy decision here is put the tag team champion, like not championship, with the tag team triple threat on the kickoff show. But it's like we know how WWE does with the obvious decision. Like you obviously just because you don't care about the Raw tag team title. This is New Day's 7th reign. They're already established, and Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, sorry guys, but if the NXT Championship opens the show, you're already out there to be by ringside. Or you do the whole thing where you high five Cole on the way to the back. Who knows? But because it seems like that just makes the most sense, Darnell, that's why I just don't believe they'll be doing it.
Or maybe they're going to make up some matches for the kickoff show.
Oh, God. Please, no. No Twitter announcements. Damn. Like, SmackDown's Friday. TakeOver is Saturday. The show is Sunday. No Twitter announcement. Damn. Like,
look, I'm looking at the card. I'm like, that whole card can be your show right there.
Well, we also got to remember they got 2 15-person tag matches. You have to give that time.
That's why it's only 8 matches.
Okay, but we're going to talk about a pay-per-view that's only 4 that's going to last 2 hours.
Are we sure on that? Because we don't see a lot of quick.
Bro, okay. What is the average run time of an NXT TakeOver?
NXT TakeOver that's about 2 hours.
Okay, bro, come on. It's always 4 or 5 matches. Now you're talking about on the main roster, 2 15-person tag matches, a triple threat match that's going to be lyrical in genre. You got a championship match. Want to give at least 15 minutes.
You know how to put a bit photo. They give a time limit, but they really lenient with that time limit. This is a bit for a paper.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's an 8-match card, but it's a big 4 pay-per-view, and actually look at the matches. We still are going to have 2 world championship matches. One's no holds barred, let's be honest. That's probably an excuse for Brock to just maim Rey Mysterio for 5 minutes and pin him. But the Daniel Bryan Bray Wyatt match, that might be a 20-minute match. That could go maybe 20, 25. And if that goes 20, 25, that's already almost half of one of the hours. So, like, it's weird because it's an 8-match card and we're used to WWE just piling on matches for no reason and announcing stuff on Twitter. But, I mean, it would be nice to actually care about the kickoff show for once, Darnell. It would be nice to hear what's going to be on the kickoff and be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll invest that.
I'm put it like this, though. In my opinion, they'd be smart enough not to try to make it. Because you talking about going up again. Let's see, the kickoff would be what? About 5 o'clock?
And that's what I was just about to say. You can look at it that way. You can look at it that way, Darnell, because I know where you're going. But at the same time, me personally, if I'm a small market fan if I'm a fan in Nashville or Jacksonville. For one, Jacksonville is even more ironic because AEW is based in Jacksonville. Nashville, I mean, they just announced the Grammys. There's a lot of reasons in those two cities why they would not want to watch the pre-show for a pre-rehearsed sport. The teams start at 4:05 Eastern. I think the kickoff show starts for a Big Four at 5 Eastern or 5:30 Eastern. Bro.
See, you going over. Let me go national. You got the Cowboys and the Patriots, 425. America's team versus who probably other people would say should be American's team. That show late afternoon kickoff in the NFL, followed by you got Survivor City going up against Green Bay versus San Francisco on Sunday Night Football.
And that's what I mean, though. It's like, what, Darnell, let's be real. If you're going to get somebody to click over and keep them there, are they going to click over for Cowboys Patriots, or are they going to click over from 49ers Packers?
You talking 2 headline games for the week in NFL.
Answer the question. Which one do you think people will be most likely to click over from?
That's a tough one.
Because that's how you have to play this thing. If you do Twitter announcements, you're done. It doesn't matter. Because if you do Twitter announcements, nobody's going to care. Nobody who doesn't. WWE has all these followers, but you have to think WWE is a global brand. They're supposed to have over like 100 million people on social. 100 million people, Darnell, isn't even a third of the United States, which is the country that it's based in. The 100 plus million followers is a global compilation. So let's not sit here and act like they have a third of the country on lock. That is not the case. You can't do Twitter announcement, random old, because see, Dana Brooke ain't even available. Dana Brooke's in the match. You got to think who is even available at this point. Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross are in a match. Sarah Logan's even in a match. King Corbin, Shorty G, they're in matches. Viking Raiders, they're in a match. Shinsuke, he's in a match. You got to think who are the people that they would call on to announce a match on Twitter and actually think that people would tune into the match.
They just might have to keep it. They might have to keep it close to the vest because they can.
But my point though is this. If you keep it close to the vest, you're basically hoping that the day of people remember to turn the channel. At the same time, if it's not one of these 8 matches listed, who? Oh, bro. Okay, like for example, because I'm really trying to rack my brain here. Because so, well, no, see, I can't even do that. Ricochet's on Team Raw, bro. I'm serious. Who isn't wrestling on Sunday that me and you, who are damn near forced to pay attention to this thing? Who on the roster will we be like, oh, okay, well, I have 15 minutes left before the show starts. Let me turn over and watch X and B.
You know what? Something happened on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a quick set. Nothing happened, and it caught my interest. I wonder if Curry actually transferred into this or they just did. Aleister Black, Brady Murphy.
I'm not changing the channel from Cowboys Patriots for Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy. I'm sorry. I apologize. I am not changing the channel for Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black to do just some random behind singles match. I can keep track of that on Twitter by refreshing. I'm sorry. Is there anything else? Maybe last minute.
No, I think the only biggest name on there I can think of is Aleister Black that's not in the match. Oh, Eric Rowan not in the match either. I just thought of. How he be not in the Survivor Series?
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, let's be real. Okay, so
Eric Rowan Survivor Series.
So the 3 biggest names, and if I'm looking at this correctly, I don't see Cedric Alexander. I don't see Apollo. I don't see any of the Lucha House Party.
And you got to think the loser of the triple threat match from TakeOver War Games, they're not. We don't know what they status is gonna be for the Survivor Series.
And you're talking about either Pete Dunne versus Killian Dane, Pete Dunne versus Damian Priest, or Damian Priest versus Killian Dane. So, yeah, I mean,
And then Matt Riddle, he's facing Finn Balor, so you don't know what he gonna make. He might be cleared. Who knows what's going on with that one?
But at the same time, Team NXT is still TBA.
Yep.
So even still, because I'm gonna be real, man. Like, we know why it's TBA, brother. They trying to make sure people make it through. They're trying to make sure the guys can tape themselves up and do their triple threat matches. So that being said, though, I mean, I would rather Matt Riddle, Finn Balor, Pete Dunne, Killian Dane, or Damian Priest, because one of them is going to be busy. I'd rather for that 5 be Team NXT.
Because I don't know, because I think most of Team Trump is going to be Team NXT.
Team what?
Team Trump.
Oh,
so also, you got Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic. We don't have a 4th member yet.
That's the thing.
There's not all 3. 2 of them going to be on Team NXT.
Yeah. So because there's a TBA. So yeah, I mean, but still, Darnell, the biggest issue is this, because the NFL don't give a dang about WWE, but WWE needs to give a dang about the NFL. And
especially this week.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, Darnell, let's just remember, if the planes hadn't got stuck, they would have not basically made this entire angle. This entire angle is because they had to do the emergency show because everybody got stuck. So we have to remember, like, unless there's a drastic situation that makes them actually put in the mental legwork, WWE usually plays it extremely safe, but yet thinks that it'll get the crowd going. So, I mean, that's going to happen. That's going to be his thing. But luckily, because let's call a spade, Darnell.
Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? It's a long process. It's a hard, thought out process. Yeah, I know. I was there. From March of this year, thinking about how I'm going to do this, doing all my research, trying to get everything right. What platforms can we use and how we going to record it and how we going to make it sound good and make it all this happen. And then I came upon Anchor. The Anchor app on my phone, the easiest choice I could ever make to do a podcast. It's free to use. You don't got to pay for nothing. You can record episodes whenever you're ready. You can edit it and then you can release them when you want to. And you don't have to worry about trying to figure out how you're going to distribute it on other platforms, because Anchor has partnerships with Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Pocket Cast, whatever you name it. Because the Playmakers Wild podcast is the podcast that I use. We are on all them platforms. We are on 9 platforms just by using the Anchor app. So pretty much all the questions that you have questions about doing a podcast, go to the Anchor app or go to the Anchor website, anchor.fm.com, and just search through it, ask questions. Because I tell you, a free app that does all this, there's nothing more you can ask for. I even got friends, they doing their podcast on the Anchor app. Faith Talk, you might have heard of it because it's very good. And it's great that it's an app like this, it's a website like this that makes it easier for people to do podcasts and do what they love best, talking about the things that they love to talk about. So give Anchor a try, see how much you like it. We'll love to hear your podcast.
No titles are being defended at NXT TakeOver War Games.
Ooh.
We got 4 matches and we got 2 War Games, but we have to consider this, Darnell. At one point in time.
All the time. Ooh, cruiserweight.
I'm definitely not changing from Cowboys Patriots to watch Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah,
but so at one point in time, when you said the words "Hell in a Cell," you can't even describe the goosebumps. You can't describe that feeling. Like your eyes got big, like, oh snap, this is gonna be Hell in a Cell. But over time, you have a Hell in a Cell match, 5 times in 1 year, starts to wane. Not to say that the War Games match is gonna, suffer that fate, because Darnell, to be honest with you, I think you have to watch a couple War Games matches to figure out what the hell War Games actually is. War Games is one of those things where it's like it's not really a cut and dry steel cage match. You kind of sort of need to like see it and watch it to even sort of begin to get it.
I'm gonna put it like this: if I can summarize it, but it's pretty much all the chaos you've been watching for like the past couple of weeks, just inside the cage.
That's kind of sort of the best way to describe the match. The one thing I'm worried about is though, everybody's pulling double duty, which means you're going to see them again. No titles are being defended. You don't even know who needs to look strong for what because they are going up against the other two brands tomorrow. And there's going to be 2 War Games matches in a 4-match show. Will the crowd still be up for whichever War Games match main events? And will a War Games match be the main event?
Yes.
Where do you think the triple threat match falls?
They might open up.
I actually, with Finn Balor having his first pay-per-view match back, I would imagine so too. So, I don't think they're going to go to main roster format. I think they're going to hit you boom boom. So, Pete Dunne, Killian Dane, Damian Priest. If you had to pick one, Darnell.
Pete Dunne. I guess all.
Like, if you're going to open, because I definitely don't think they're going to wait with the NXT Championship. I think that's opening up the show. I think that Pete Dunne is your best shot. This guy had the longest championship reign in WWE history. Going up against the top guy of NXT, who you made look really strong. Really strong. He beat Seth and Daniel on the way to this pay-per-view. So I think that is the move. I think when you're talking about what's going to be on Survivor Series, Pete Dunne winning is the move. I mean, for pity's sake, we can try to, spend a minute on it, but I don't see how. I wish I had the books from Vegas because I'm pretty sure Finn Balor is like a plus 30,000 favorite. There's no way Finn Balor loses his return pay-per-view match to NXT to Matt Riddle, who has had title matches, but
And matter of fact, Matt Riddle got the best of Finn Balor this past Wednesday,
and we know what that means.
Oh my God, this past Wednesday was. I knew it. When it told me, I need to watch that today. Watch the chaos is so lovely.
Man, Keith's gonna roll an ankle one day. That brother. I mean, I worry if he really can suicide dive because when I saw Eric suicide dive, I was like, oh. So but hey, I just
like the matches that we got on NXT was just.
Because this is what people don't realize, man. People got to catch that big fella.
We gonna catch him.
That's why every time he does it, there's like 5 people like, so.
Did you see him and Keith? He was like, yeah, we both gonna do this.
I was like, bro, like,
I don't want to catch them.
Jesus. Y'all.
You have to be that big to be able to do those stuff. It's like crowd amazing.
It's like, oh yeah, like, bro, like, and the crazy thing is, because NXT teaches them how to be in WWE, they actually toned Keith Lee down a lot. Brother was doing shooting star presses, moonsaults, like, just crazy-ish. Crazy-ish. But yeah, sometimes I think to myself, y'all gotta take care of the big fella. Then I think to myself, big fella, you gotta take care of them. you gotta stop doing this. But yeah, so I mean,
we're gonna go ahead and get to War Games because even NXT wasn't even. It was about War Games, but it wasn't about War Games.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the interesting thing going forward because NXT TakeOver only happens where there's a Big Four pay-per-view, and it's gonna be kind of interesting because they're holding off the 4th member of Team Ciampa. I do agree with you that it would have to be the main event because again, you have to keep the crowd interested with 2 War Games being in a 4-match show. So in the order that we think is going to go, the women's War Game match. I mean, I could care less that the women's title isn't on the line. I mean, just the action that's about to happen.
I don't know how to pick this.
I don't either.
This feeling of a turn happening. I don't know if it's War Games. I don't know if it be the War Game, the show after War Games. For some reason, the fact that Dakota Kai is still lingering around is tricky.
And she did not take the news of not being on the team well. But once the cage is closed, Darnell.
Once the cage is closed, the cage is closed. But it ain't like you can't get in it on the top.
Fair.
You know, I'm gonna roll with Team Baszler, the Queen of NXT. I'm sorry, I gotta do it. I gotta roll with the Queen of me.
You know, when you really think about it, there's not really many opportunities for Shayna Baszler to actually take a loss, Darnell. Like, at some point, they're gonna have to put a chink in this armor. Because like NXT now, they pulled in some big guns, and Darnell, like we can sit here and be naive. We can say, oh, it's for Survivor Series. They don't care about that. Let's be honest, Darnell, because WWE has built up many a pay-per-view before. WWE has had competition before, or people who tried to rise up to be competition, and Vince McMahon keeps that train moving unless somebody makes him move that train. I mean, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, Ricochet, come on, man. Like, Shayna Baszler could very well be staying on NXT. They could say this is the legit third brand now. We can't just keep moving stuff back and forth without giving something back of equal or similar value.
They officially became a third brand to me once they brought Finn Balor back.
Oh yeah, once they brought a former world champion back down, turned him heel, basically brought him back to what got him to WWE, that's when I was like, oh, okay, yeah, they're trying to do something here. They're trying to cook something here. Then AJ Styles and Finn Balor had the moment. Now you had Seth Rollins wearing the Raw t-shirt in the Orlando territory. Bro, when I saw Seth Rollins wearing the Raw t-shirt in the Orlando territory, all I could think to myself was, I hope everybody's taking notes, because the books that will be written in 10 years, bro, like, it's going to be mad. It's going to be nuts. But that being said, I mean, Shayna Baszler, if she's going to stay on NXT, I think even more so than if she was going to leave. I think she has to lose the championship eventually. So I'm picking Team Ripley because of the fact of, like, you got to start chinking that armor, or else you're going to run yourself into a corner where it's like, okay, we have all these talented women. We have all these super over women. We have all these tough women. But, like, we're having every single one of them lose. Like, if every women's champion gets a reign that's over a year, does a reign over a year matter? Or does it just mean that you don't change the championship that often? There is a difference. So that's a split.
If Team Ripley does, man, I would like to see Rhea Ripley get that next title shot.
Yeah, especially after being the first, because, you know, we haven't had the NXT UK NXT duel yet, and we haven't had the NXT women's and NXT UK women's duel yet.
NXT UK women's champions on Team Baszler.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, dang, like, they're really gonna have to do the underdog come from behind thing. And but another thing though, real quick, Bianca Belair turning heel is something that I'm talking about. You get to the point where it's like, dang, if they're not gonna beat Shayna, what's really there for said person to do? Now, for the other four on the other side, War Games is coming up. But, you know, in the future, we got 8 women in this match, Darnell. One is from NXT UK. One just came from NXT UK. Well, actually 2, because Tegan Knox is from Wales. But, I mean, come on, man. Like, they're not the only ones. There are 8 of, like, I want to say like 15, 16. There's a lot of women in that division to keep having these year-long reigns. That being said, the men's match is more difficult to pick than that one, though, because you have Undisputed Era, but on the other side, you have an opponent that's to be announced. Like, at an NXT TakeOver, a surprise entrant, how do they not win that match with a surprise entrant at a main event War Games match at an NXT TakeOver?
Can I go at it a different way?
What?
Undisputed Era has all the titles, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Undisputed Era It's pretty much the headline of War Games, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've been in every War Game.
Mm-hmm.
I think they won one and they lost one.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to add the fact that the entire group is on Survivor Series.
That's why it's gonna be weird. You think that they just really let every match just breathe and they let Undisputed Era just take a dive?
So now the thinking is, if they win War Games, how would they feel at Survivor Series? Lose War Games, how would they feel at Survivor Series?
I mean, let's be real here. Out of every match, well, not every match, because Cole's going to be defending the championship. So out of the two matches, O'Reilly and Fish are the ones that have the best chance of pulling the upset. I don't think Roderick Strong has a chance in hell between Shinsuke and AJ Styles. So it's going to be the tag match. Cole's defending the championship, so he's kind of moot. But you still want them healthy because they are going to be in marquee matches on that card. I think that's why you do the to be announced thing, because you do it's a huge name. It was a surprise. What are they going to do? They lost the battle, but not the war, because they have Survivor Series tomorrow. Once the brand versus, there's so many ways there's so many cliches you can use to where it was just, they were trying to save themselves because they have to quote unquote carry the brand tomorrow. There's ways you can write it for them losing. Them winning, however, I don't know. Because you got to explain how they won. They can't just dominate.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you why I'm going to pick Champ. I'm going to pick Team Champ. The same thing I just said when we talked about Ripley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has to really challenge Adam Cole for the title.
True.
Tommaso Ciampa is going to be the next real challenge for it. I don't know.
That's fair. I think that with the way things are, I think that these War Games matches aren't explicitly number one contendership matches, but I think they're planting the seed. I think this pay-per-view is for seed planting. One match is obviously for seed planting because it's to get Adam Cole a championship match, but I think in the long term, Tommaso Ciampa is the actual challenge. So I think that's why I'm picking Pete Dunne to win, because for a one-off match, that'll be really good. That'll be really believable. Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle. I mean, I'm tired of Finn Balor being in worthless feuds, but at the same time, Roger Strong's busy. So this is really a seed planting pay-per-view. Everybody's due for one. Every pay-per-view can't be the biggest bonanza of the year. That being said, though, I don't think it's going to be bad. I think that NXT has established that, hey, small promotion, focus on the matches. Still going to be a fun night.
TakeOvers are never bad. They might have a bad moment, but TakeOver is never bad.
Yeah, and when you establish the fact that, hey, this is for the wrestling. Full Sail is a small venue. We pack this venue every time. We have found a solid audience of people that like what we do. And we're going to keep doing it, and we're going to keep trucking, and we're going to keep rolling. At one point, we had 1 belt. At another point, we had 2 belts. At another point, we made a women's belt. Then later down the road, we had to make a mid-card belt. Either way down the road, though, we didn't just give it to you all at once. We didn't overload you with 12,000 titles. So you went from 1 belt to 4, but none of them are going to be defended this pay-per-view. That's okay, though, because you're used to only one match, quote-unquote, really mattering. And I think that's why NXT TakeOver can do something like this, because it's like, it's not like they're giving us 4 regular singles matches. They're giving us 2 War Games matches. I mean, come on. Even with no titles on the line, Triple H done found a way. And with that being said, because this one, they'll probably do something on Twitter, and I will hate it, and it will annoy the hell out of me. But as of right now, because there is no Twitter announcement being made, it's probably going to be the tag team match or the U.S. title match. But we'll do the tag team match. Viking Raiders versus New Day versus Undisputed Era. Fish and O'Reilly representing the stable. I think that this is the only chance that NXT, well, one of the few chances. I think there might be 2. I think there might be 2 chances for NXT to get upset, and I think this is one of the chances.
You going Undisputed Era?
Mm-hmm.
Even though you already went ahead and made your pick for the first match, I went to social media, Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see what the people thought. So 53 votes went to NXT. That's number one behind Raw at 52 and SmackDown at 38.
Mm-hmm.
Which is surprising to me. I think most people voting for Raw and SmackDown is more surprising to me. I think I kind of figured it was going to be NXT was going to be top.
Mm.
So that's a lot.
There's nothing to slouch it.
So yeah, out of 143 votes, NXT got 53 of them.
So I wonder what the actual win-loss tally would have to be.
Now I counted. There are 5 brand supremacy matches. So we already started with the tag team match. This is a tough one for me because the Viking Raiders only lost one match, but do we really count that as a loss? It was for the best the best tag team in the world title.
Anything at Saudi Arabia shouldn't really count, but they changed the world title, so I don't know.
We have documented Undisputed Era for who knows how long on this podcast.
Hey, journalism.
And the world knows about New Day.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm picking Undisputed Era, because dude, what else does New Day really need to do? What else can they do?
So I'm gonna pick New Day. I think New Day pins Undisputed Era.
Oh,
that's how I'm feeling right now.
Are you thinking SmackDown's gonna get any other matches? Because that's the tricky thing for NXT and SmackDown, because it's like we know how Vince likes to do. So there ain't gonna be many opportunities for NXT or SmackDown to get a win and get in the column. And I don't think neither of those brands are going over.
We gonna see, because I'm looking. I already got my prediction of who gonna win brand supremacy on this.
Well, who you got?
You'll see in the picks and how I pick it.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. United States Champion AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental Champion, versus Roger Strong, the NXT North American Champion.
AJ Styles.
AJ. It's definitely AJ. In fact, I think this might be one of the shortest matches of the night. I maybe give this between 10 to 12:30. So,
maybe.
If that. I say 12:30 because, like I said, the smart thing to do with Cowboy Patriots is to put one of these matches on the kickoff show. That being said, huge. It's going to be one of the shortest matches of the night, if not the shortest. I can see 8:30, but I don't. For a triple match to actually get it breathing, I don't see 8.
Oh, before we continue on, I did say on the previous podcast I did have one down moment. Actually, 2, but WWE took care of the other one by having 3 championship matches.
Yes.
The other one, there is a certain title that's not being on the line.
But the women's
brand.
But the women's tag?
Yes.
I mean, bro, you have 2 15-person tag matches. What more do you want?
I mean, I'm just saying. You have one title in the company that can go on any brand. Why not use it?
Why pin them down? And why pin them down to a brand in a brand supremacy match?
What I'm saying is, that's the only pay-per-view deal where all 3 brands get together, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now we know this is the one title that can go on any brand, any show at any time when they feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
You can defend the title on different brands and different show pay-per-views all you want. But if you know there's only one pay-per-view when all 3 brands get together, why not have the fun with putting the women's title on?
Is this criticism from Darnell before there's criticism from Dallas?
Yes, it is.
Oh wow.
It's like the perfect storm. You have a women's tag team championship. It's not restricted to one brand at all. What better way for the brand to stick it to them? It's we took your title and we brought it to our brand.
That would have been a perfect win for NXT too, by the way. And it goes to the thing I was just mentioning in their takeover picks. There's 6, 7 other women on that brand. Now they're starting to bring in women from NXT UK. Now they're starting to bring in other superstars and say, the title doesn't have to change hands, but you do have to at least keep up the legitimacy of anybody at any time can get this work.
That's my only problem with the virus.
And it's fair. It's fair because, even though they are branded, you still you hate to see titles tied up. You kind of get it with War Games, and you get it with the Survivor Series season and what Survivor Series is supposed to be for. But I also don't like when titles are tied up in a pay-per-view match. It kind of sort of does the whole belts don't have to matter unless you make me think that they have to matter. Because once you make me think that they have to matter, I'm gonna start wondering why you aren't defending them.
See, we get all the champions versus champion. Like, yeah, you're champion of your own brand. We get it. You have one title that's not brand supremacy. Use it.
Yeah, like the only way to have a brand supremacy match in that context is to have it on the line. That's fair. At the same time, though, you would think that Team Raw would be that much better having actual tag team champions on their tag team. Which is why I'm trying to figure out where the upsets are coming from, because there's Charlotte, Natalya, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Sarah Logan. That's not a strong team besides the tag team champions and Charlotte Flair. God bless Natalya. Natalya is the example of, look, you may be getting a Raw deal. You may not be represented in the way that you think you should be represented. That's not to downplay any extreme cases as of late. That being said, though, bro, when I look at Natalya, I think to myself, like, okay, so she doesn't complain. She goes in the ring and she doesn't hurt anybody. She basically does any angle they give her to the best of her ability, and bam, she's in Survivor Series. She gets the Survivor Series payday. She doesn't got to worry about politics. She ain't got to worry about a champion schedule. Man,
Put it like this, Dallas. As I told you, this is the match. This is the match. No matter where is it on the card, this is the match that's going to determine who's going to win brand supremacy.
The women's 15 match.
Yes.
In 2 sentences, why?
Pretty much. I don't think the NXT men's are going to win that match. But it's between Walker. So essentially, you picking Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Ricochet. Who else is on that team?
Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre.
Against Roman Reigns, King Corbin. I hate saying that. I really do. Mustafa Ali, Shorty G, and Braun Strowman.
With Team NXT to be announced.
The women's are going to decide who wins brand supremacy.
I can see that. I can definitely see that, because you said there's 5 brand supremacy matches.
Yep.
And we have 3 world titles. So and that's why I'm trying to figure out, because I don't believe that a brand will go over, but a brand is gonna have to win 3 matches. So yeah. So who are you picking in this rubber match then?
So Team SmackDown is led by Sasha Banks, correct?
Yep, but she has Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Nikki Cross behind her. So she's gonna be. This is a scenario where I'm calling it, Darnell. I'm calling it. I'm shooting a shot. If there is a sole survivor this pay-per-view, it will be Sasha Banks. Every other match will have multiple people survive.
SmackDown. So right now you have Undisputed Era in the tag match. You have AJ Styles from Raw, and you have the SmackDown women. So those are 3 brands that win 1 match already. You?
And I mean, because we're already an hour and 2 minutes in, I'm gonna just tell you right now: do we really think Seth Rollins not having a world title and Becky Lynch being Raw Women's Champion and the face of the company are gonna lose their matches?
I'm thinking on that. Especially, I'm thinking on those. This is where the NXT women takes one.
So this is your one for NXT.
Yep.
That's fair, because I mean, I said this way in the beginning of the year. How the hell are we gonna make picks with Vince McMahon? But here we are in a situation where it's like we're trying to pick, and Vince McMahon hasn't released like 2 of the teams.
Because what my guess is right now, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, That's the two main ones for the team. You might throw me and him in there. Io Shirai. And I'm gonna do a fan favorite, Dakota Kai.
Well, throw out the turn thing. Because why would she give a damn about NXT if she turns up War Games? Because nobody picked her to be on the team.
Remember, I said it could either happen at War Games or the show after War Games.
Oh, wait. Then how is NXT going to win?
I ain't saying she's turning. I'm saying it's a possibility because she's been lingering around for quite a while. So,
well, yeah, you know. In either case, I picked NXT for one. You picked NXT for another. So either way, NXT will get their one. Although I will say this: somebody from NXT turning on the grand stage, the small upstart promotion trying to prove that they are a legitimate third brand, that would be. It won't get me turning from Packers 49ers, but I will try to refresh my Twitter and see what the hell is going on if I was somebody not watching the show. What the hell is going on here? Who the hell is Dakota Kai?
I'm picking Roman Reigns and the men's team.
So you got SmackDown going brand supremacy.
Not really.
Well, you have a 2-2-1.
I caught on what WWE is doing. I caught on to what they're doing.
Which is?
I caught on to what they're doing. So when I picked the triple threat women's champions match, you'll see.
I'm frustrated too, yo. I don't understand. You've picked this SmackDown match. Who do you think are surviving with him? Because if we're going division for division, I think Mustafa Ali and Braun Strowman offer a little bit more than Dana Brooke, Carmella, or Lacey Evans at this point in time. That being said, though, Mustafa Ali needs a push. He needs a heroic moment because he kind of lost his moment. He got hurt.
Probably, but they ain't been using Braun Strowman.
Huh?
They ain't been using Braun Strowman.
So you think 3 dudes survive?
Oh no, big guys in these type of matches, they try to get rid of them quickly anyway.
Yeah. Shorty G is probably going to get eliminated quick. He's probably going to be like the comedy elimination.
But I can see Mustafa Ali surviving.
I think
Roman
and Mustafa are going to survive.
You picking a SmackDown man?
No, like if they win. I'm picking Raw. Because, dude, it's Survivor Series. It's Vince McMahon. Ricochet, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins. The NXT team is either going to be we're looking at Team Ciampa or, there's more men on TV in NXT than there is women. So they have a bigger pool to choose from. That being said, come on, bro. Seth Rollins, not in the world title picture. Kevin Owens, not in the world title picture. Drew McIntyre needs to build up his relevance just as much as Mustafa Ali. Randy Orton, come on, bro. I'm saying if SmackDown were to win, I can see Roman and Mustafa being the survivors, but I'm picking Team Raw.
So you got 2 for Raw. I got 2 for SmackDown.
Mm-hmm. And the final brand supremacy match, because we're almost an hour and 10 in, we haven't even gotten to the meat of the matter yet.
We both picking the same person. I hope you know that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to figure out. Where you? Wait, you just okay, yeah, because I had to. So okay, yeah. So what exactly do you think is going on here?
Raw and SmackDown gonna have a tie.
Do you think that's to actually boost up SmackDown's relevance in the big scheme of things since they're worth $2 billion now?
It's either SmackDown's gonna win or it's gonna be a tie, and it's technically taking a shot at NXT just to keep it. That's to keep it how I want to put this. That's to keep it a brand separated thing. But it's like, yo, y'all just became a full-time brand. Y'all need to slow it down.
I can see that because you don't want to go too fast because 3 months ago this was a developmental territory. Now all of a sudden it's the third brand. So you do want to kind of sort of like ease that on in. But at the same time, you have to remember, like, we can't blow them out. We can't make it look bad. We can't make them look like they are in the minor leagues, because this is what we have going against another promotion's best product every Wednesday night. So, speaking of which, did the whatever. But yeah, so
you got Raw winning the brand supremacy, which would be right up Vince McMahon's alley as usual.
Mm-hmm. And the matches I'm picking Raw to win. I mean, let's be realistic here. Becky Lynch, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins not in the world title picture. I can see it. The other years, I'm just like, yo, what are you doing? Why? When? How? For what? For who? This year, it's like a 3-1-1 split. That it's convincing, but only because it's best of 5 and there's 3 brands. But still, it makes more sense.
I have a 2-1 split.
Not as bad.
But you're not there yet. Also, yeah, you really gonna sit here and not let Fox look good? Are we really gonna do that?
Exactly, you would think. I mean, this is you see what Vince did. Like, hey, okay, we're gonna you want Brock, but we're gonna save you from yourselves. You think you want Brock, but
notice though, SmackDown has not really been getting advantages. It's usually been NXT or Raw. SmackDown has not been getting advantages leading up.
Exactly. After a while, Fox is gonna be like, hey, what's going on here? We got this advertising during the NFL, and you have Blue's Clues as the world champion. What's going on here? But speaking of world champions, we alluded to it a little bit earlier. If Pete Dunne, really, let's be honest, Darnell, if any of the other 3 win,
it don't matter. I'm still winning.
Yeah, exactly. When you have a number 1 contender fight for the title the very next night with no build whatsoever, there's build, but there's not blank versus blank build. I mean, come on, Adam Cole's gonna win. So there's that. I mean, let's not even go straight. Let's go Vegas here, because let's be real with ourselves. Over under 5 minutes 50 seconds for the Rey Mysterio Brock Lesnar match.
Over under. I'm gonna think over.
It's a no holds barred match.
You can't have Rey Mysterio get the advantage over Brock Lesnar with a chair and a pipe, and all of a sudden Brock Lesnar just kills him.
Let's be real, bro. Let's be real. Kofi Kingston, who is like, I want to say 6 inches taller than Rey and maybe 50 pounds heavier, got beat in a YouTube clip. It's the size of the clip to where it's not even copyright infringement yet. That's how quick Kofi got beat. Now
I know what you're doing. Like, literally, yes, Brock Lesnar, you need to hurry up and kill Rey Mysterio and get this over with, because, like, yeah. But look how they built it.
It's weird because they're literally trying to, like, Rey Mysterio has not been, like, besting Brock Lesnar. He has been beating the hell out of him with foreign objects. So what they're trying to do is like, hey, look, guys, we understand. The Kofi thing, nobody liked it. We ripped the Band-Aid off. But, hey, look. It was on Fox. We had boxers in the audience. We had UFC fighters in the audience. We had executives in the audience. We had to, do the deal. However, we understand your frustrations and causes for concern, so we're going to make this a little bit more realistic. Rey Mysterio is a little bit different than Finn Balor and Kofi Kingston, and we understand that he might need a tad bit of help at 40-plus years of age to even have a shot in a wrestling match with Brock Lesnar. That being said,
I give it 8 minutes.
You know what I mean? When I hear no holds barred, I think Rey might get a kendo stick or something in, but I think Brock's going to catch said weapon. And I think no holds barred really means mess up every announce table with Rey's body with no count out. I go over 550, but I'm talking like 630 because, it takes time to kind of, set up those table spots. You can't just.
No, we're freaking the beast stuff.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's why I went Vegas. I mean, 550 is an absurd number, but A, Brock Lesnar's matches are short to begin with, and B, come on, bro. A no-holds-barred match against Rey Mysterio? Like, come on, bro. However, I will not change the 550 number, even though we both went over, because, I mean, I bet if we put this up on Facebook or Twitter, there will be some people taking the under. 550, that sweet spot. See, people don't answer on the Twitter like that.
It'll be worth it. I would like to see that.
We'll have to see that. We might have to do the Facebook because people just don't like the polls on Twitter. But then again, we have to get through a lot of content on Twitter. It's a lot of voices on Twitter. Facebook is more like, you like the page, you see the page. So it might be on Facebook. But this is the title match that's actually gonna be a match. And it's kind of fitting that Survivor Series has world title matches that seem pretty easy to pick. But I think Adam Cole's match, that's obviously going to be the best match of the three. That's going to be like the match because Adam Cole realistically has the worst chance of having a successful defense, even though his chances aren't that bad. The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan, though. Universal Championship match. This is the first match where the Universal Championship is the SmackDown World Championship. This will also be the first match where Bray is going to have a champion's entrance as the Fiend. How does he wear the belt around the waist and carry the lantern? Does he carry the belt and the lantern? Either way, it happened quick. We were worried. We moaned and we complained and we cried, and whether this was the plan or not, we got it. So Bray Wyatt is in a land of his own. Brock's out the way. Kofi is back in the tag team picture. Roman's doing 5 versus 5 stuff. Darnell really is clear sailing for the Fiend right now. Do you think Daniel Bryan has a chance?
You picking the Fiend?
Yeah.
Y'all gonna cry him on even more. I'm picking Daniel Bryan.
Explain.
A while back, I read something, and it said the Fiend could have a short title reign. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, so it won't gonna be a Survivor Series because it's supposed to be the Fiend versus Brock Lesnar versus Adam Cole, which they scrapped.
Who wrote it, and where did you see it from?
Was it Total Sports? I think I read it from.
Because you gotta remember, wrestling journalism at the end of the day is really just criticism. So you can't. I mean, come on.
I was thinking about it, I'm like, so it won't be Survivor Series. Okay, so pretty much we're talking TLC. Okay. But they scrapped the whole championship match that I was looking forward to. I think they did that for Adam Cole's purposes, to be honest. After I thought about it. Because you put Adam Cole in the ring with the Fiend and Brock Lesnar, it doesn't.
First of all, it doesn't do well for the optics. He's a little smaller than Mysterio in that match.
Then you don't know what you're going to get between the Fiend and Brock Lesnar.
You kind of sort of. There's a reason why we're having world title matches. That's honestly because if you put the 3 world championships in a triple threat, you would ruin all 3 of them. Adam Cole would look too small. Brock doesn't like to lose. And Bray, God dog, like you just got out of a situation where you put him where he wasn't supposed to be and made him lose a match he wasn't supposed to lose.
He didn't even lose though. That's the thing.
And that was probably even worse than having him lose. It's just that whole situation. He shouldn't really have been in it in the first place. He shouldn't have been in it in the first place, but they made the bed. They learned, leave the bed alone. Go to the kitchen. Go to the living room, watch some TV, but leave that bed alone. And they probably picked up on that message, this particular pay-per-view, because 3 world championships on the line at a Survivor Series. Usually world champions are captains.
Yeah, like I said, but anyway, so I'm sitting here thinking, okay, they're not gonna use Roman Reigns right away, but somebody has to fight Roman Reigns for the title at some point, correct? Braun Strowman ain't doing nothing, so he's not even working in the title picture. The Miz, he's just the A-lister right now. Anybody else I'm missing before I get to Daniel Bryan?
No, because I need to hear this Daniel Bryan logic quick and in a hurry.
Okay, King Corbin. Yeah. So who can the Fiend lose to? If it's not gonna be Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan can. So that would be quite interesting to see if Daniel Bryan actually does beat the Fiend for the. I'm picking Daniel Bryan because if this is going
so you're saying
take the title off Bray Wyatt quickly, no other person to do it is with Daniel Bryan.
So you're saying that a babyface Daniel Bryan is going to take the title off a heel Fiend? Darnell, you are making this pick on the loose assumption that Daniel Bryan is not a babyface yet and will be a heel by the time WrestleMania comes around in April. So you're basically saying that instead of Brock Lesnar, instead of The Fiend, instead of a heel Braun Strowman after all these years, we're going to run it back with Daniel Bryan being the world champion at SmackDown at WrestleMania against Roman Reigns.
No. We still got Royal Rumble. We still got what other papers we can get through. I'm saying if they are going to take the title off Bray Wyatt with 40 years out, they have
So who's the heel that's going to take the belt off of Dan Bryan?
That could be Corbin. That could be Strowman if they actually decide to turn him heel. If they ever decide that. But I feel like Strowman's getting the John Cena treatment, but not just that stuff. Not that mainstream guy though. Ain't Luke Harper is on? Could they use Luke Harper in some capacity to help this out?
No, okay. That's enough. I'm gonna save you from yourself. Is there anything else? Because by the time this comes out, it should be, everything else should really be done.
We already did your football episodes, college and NFL.
Terrible
person.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
NFL that's not gonna get resolved no time soon. By the time I do a basketball episode, the Florida Gators better be looking much better than what they're looking right now.
Oh, so you're not going to do a college episode for a while?
When I decide to do one, but if I do one soon, it's not going to be pretty.
All right, because if they made it, to this point, they're probably going to be loyal and stay through. Any opinions about the James Wiseman thing?
Nah. Nope. I'm just gonna sit and see what happens Sunday, and then that's gonna tell me what's gonna happen with Dallas when that's gonna be talking in the club.
Yeah. Because, season could be over, could be mock drafting. I'm trying. Still. I hope you've noticed my human decency. I'm trying not to troll too early, because once my season is over, I'm just waiting for you. Because I need that to be decent, Darnell.
I don't say on 2 episodes of the podcast in the past 2 weeks, I say the same thing. They already know how
I Jay, but it's one thing when you're 4th place in your division and got a 3-loss spread, because one of the teams, Texans or Colts, going to have 7 wins. It's a whole nother thing when it's like, technically, you're in the wild card mix. But, that pick is going to have to start improving, Darnell. That's what I'm going to say.
Look, I don't care less.
Of course, you could care less, but I care a lot. So screw you and your feelings. I need that pick to improve. But in either case, as always, screw the city of Nashville. Yeah. I hope Ryan Tannehill gets that contract. Facebook, Playmakers blog. Is it the Playmakers blog or Playmakers blog? Hell, at Playmakers the on Twitter. Like I said, you should have Darnell's personal Facebook by now. He's in just about every group. If you want my personal Facebook, it's /dallas.glenn.9. Of course, we have more hilarity on our personal Facebook pages. No advertisements or sponsors on there. But in either case, if there's a major story, we'll probably tweet about it. We'll probably Facebook about it. If something crazy happens on the Twitter, I'll probably retweet it with a laden-filled caption.
If you want to troll, let's go at the Twitter account because he likes to troll with you.
And if you really want to have some ish and giggles, just squirrel hunt that Facebook page. Ain't nothing else to do on Facebook but troll in this day and age. But I think that's it, Darnell.
Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship.
Pray for him, y'all. Pray hard.